All right, this next question comes from a Gen Zer. The question is, will I ever be able to afford a house in the United States? Gosh, prices keep going up. My income's not going up. How am I ever gonna be able to afford a house? So let's talk through some strategies or some speculation of how people might be able to afford houses. In some of the areas that they're looking to live, prices are so high that they just feel like they're inaccessible. There have always been metro areas where buying a house has been inaccessible. So if you went to San Francisco for the last 10 or 15 years, what people did in order to be able to afford a house is they would house hack. So they would go buy a house and then rent out rooms, or they'd go buy a house and split it up into 2 or 3 units and then rent out the units, or they would buy with other people and co-sign together. They would get someone to co-sign with them. Is there a way that I can build a second unit or buy a house with a second unit in the back, like an ADU, accessory dwelling unit? Could I buy a duplex or a triplex? Could I find something that's not in great shape, and by putting a little bit of sweat equity into it, I get something that's worth more in the future, or that I can afford the payment now? Are there ways that I can get my payment down through seller contributions, like sellers paying closing costs or buying down the rate for me? Can I get a gift for my down payment from someone, whether a family member or friend? Some of the major metro areas have gotten really expensive, and it may mean that more people need to start going into areas where things are more affordable. There are areas where you can have a great quality of life. There's great people, there's great resources, there's even great jobs. One other stat that I'll give you though that I think is really interesting is we've sort of become expectant that our housing costs are going to be really a small percentage of our income, and that we can spend so much more of our income on travel and experiences and fun things. For the longest time, for this recent last 10 or 15 years when interest rates have been really low, the expense of home was 15, 16, 17, 18% of our income on average. And now we're in the 30s of our percent of our income that we're spending on housing if we're getting a new loan right now. And so I think that's kind of disrupting what people expect that they're gonna have to pay on their home. Many people are like, well, I don't wanna buy a home. It's too expensive. I can't afford the payment. When really they can afford the payment. It's just a higher percentage of their income than what they are used to paying. So it's just something to think about, that we may wanna pay more as a percentage of our income in order to have the quality of life that we want.